Okay. Hello, beautifuls and beloveds. This is Noelle Rose Anderson Kale, and I don't know what I am. Oh yeah, I'm the Dance Warrior, raw, real, and uncensored, and I bring to you everything about dance that I can think of, dance tips. I help encourage you through life. I tell you how I think it is. I give you my opinions on a lot of things. I usually am not this political, but times are changing and it warrants it because I want to dance and I want to be free, and after the things I've learned, I just want to impart the truth as I see it onto you fine folks. So, beautifuls and beloveds, how are you? Just thinking about something, I write, I dance, I sing, I do all these wonderful things in the performing arts, and I want to quote myself real quick. And let me make sure I get it right. How can we be racist when we're all part of the human race? How can we? How can we be? That is our race. The human race. We need to unite. Granted, evildoers need to knock it the hell off, too. That would help. But since they won't, we might have to do something about that. And we are. But really, I was like, because of melanin on our skin, somebody somewhere just decided, hey, you are subservient and you're less than this other group? Wrong. Jesus came and he said we are all equal. God created us all equal, and that is how it has to be. People shouldn't purposely stir things up to make a point either. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but that's true. But, if real stuff is going down, I get it. But there's a way to speak up. I mean, look what's being done to me. No, what I'm going through is slavery. I am being forced without my consent. Every word I say, anything that I do dance-wise, I go to a restaurant and I'm talking to somebody, anything like this is stolen from me, and then I see it either in the media, in a TV, film dialogue, or something like that. Yeah, I'm a slave. I'm not getting paid for this. I actually am paying to patron stores or what have you, right? So, that's worse than slavery. I'm paying to be abused. No. This has to stop right now, right here. What's going on? More of a show? What is wrong with these people?
Don't know.
It's weird. I'm sure you've seen the video. It's a non-stop circus parade all the time. And look, what happens is people are hired. I have an inkling of where they're coming from, who they're being fielded through, and that they don't even live here. The ones that live here who are causing problems, that's a different story, and it's for another day. All these interruptions. So anyway, that's got to stop too. And they purposely, they'll blow smoke in our back window. We called the cops on that person. I'm like, it was a white guy. Big, fat, white guy. And it's in the video, go look online. He was lifting up his shirt, rubbing his stomach, and I'm like, can you please? I don't know what that was a hint drop for, but obviously I am not fat. I don't, I think they're hoping. It's like, ain't gonna happen, people. Sorry. Jesus. Anyway. It's warm in here. So I'm just really, this is a modern day slavery. It's a form of modern day slavery. Because I don't have a choice. I am trying. We keep pushing these assholes out of our lives. We're sending cease and desist letters saying, we know what you're doing, cut the shit. Really, because it's unwarranted surveillance. It's unwanted surveillance too. And, we've been tracing it through things, and well, anyway, so I do know what it's like to be enslaved. It's not okay. It's not okay to be discriminated against, to say, hey, you are going to serve this way. Says who? Fuck you people. Not you people. I'm talking about the CEOs of certain companies. I'm talking about certain people who know this is happening, and they're like, what'd you get today? Yes, let's delve that out to this corporation. Oh no, they're looking for this. Oh, what was the keyword she said here? Did she talk about, what, butter? Oh, well, that'd make a good slogan for this, you know? Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for this at all. It's just blatantly wrong. And a lot of other things is illegal too. Then we're doing something about it. And the second that I said, you know what, enough already. I am so tired of this. Yes, I know I look like that princess. I know I look like that character. Yeah, I know I look like that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know I said that. Yeah, it's in my book. Thank you very much. You know, I'm getting really sick of this. Where's the money? I should be making it. If it's good enough to steal and for other people to make money, it was good enough for me to keep myself and make my own money. And not have these corporations, you know, bury my book listings and everything like that, and not using the proper linking for with all the title. Everyone else can have their full title of their books listed, but mine, I can't. Oh, but if it's a cartoon one, we can. Why? Because these red ribbons here, I guess this really does symbolize something for them. It symbolizes victory for me over the fact that my grandmother used to tie them to my training pants, diaper, whatever, right, when I was a little kid. To protect my virginity. That didn't go well, right? So, yeah. Apparently it means more. So, God forbid I tell the truth of what happens, because it might shine a light on their horrible sin and what they're doing to others. Other children. How they acquire them, what they do with them, what they do to them. I don't care. I care about these children. I care about the adults that were these children that now have a mess to deal with because you traumatized them. So it's going to stop. And I'm stopping it. Do you guys see all these little media things? All these things that I keep bringing up? They try to shout louder than my message to push me down. Look, they were burying my Red Ribbons book, the DanceWarrior Red Ribbons. You know, I also have a children's version of it too. I think every age group needs to know. Appropriately told too. So I'm doing that. I'm doing the best I can, so I need some help and support. So I'm like, okay, that's it. When somebody tries to drop a hint with car accidents and dead animals behind our vehicle, what else have they done?
Knock off your family.
There's that. Still investigating that. So, you know, I want to know what the hell is going on, because this is not a coincidence. And then, oh my gosh, they drop so many hints. Let's just say they drop 1,000 hints, and maybe we find 1 or 2 a day. Sometimes it's like a comment section on one of the news media sites, and they're just hoping we'll get the hint or get scared and stop. We've had our family members regurgitate our words or our own private conversations, but twist the meaning of it, and then all of a sudden I'm being threatened by my own family members, not these people, not my husband, not my son, that I need to shut up and stop talking about this and stop telling President Trump about all of the things that we've been going through. And I'm like, they're doing something. How do they get people to say these things? And then we saw it kind of happen to my mother-in-law. I'm like, holy crap. You know, it's the power of influence. It's the power of suggestion. And you say things and you repeat them 3 times to somebody and you look them straight in the eye. Not piercing, because that freaks people out. But there's a way to calmly and coaxingly. And plus they have Satan on their side. Too many people are prey for Satan because they don't know how to guard their hearts and their minds and their spirits and their delightfulness and their joy. And then somebody who's servant for these people, third parties, they just have their way with innocent fools. It makes me question if they're really saved, because like, how could you be so weak? How could you be so weak to fall prey to this stuff? So I do know what it's like to be enslaved, pushed out of my home, Unless, of course, I want to stay in there and choke to death or scratch my skin raw or pass out. What are some of the things that happen to you? Vomiting until you can't breathe anymore. That's another one. It's a noxious gas that's just seeping right through our ceiling. Obviously, where it's coming from. Not okay with it, but we already have all of our test samples done. We already have everything, you know, lining them up, and that's what we got to do, because we do not want evil people to get away with this stuff. I feel sorriest for the people who felt so desperate that they wanted to make money at our cost of misery. I mean, who in their right mind is going to take money, and they're out there, oh boy, I can point them all out to you. And just watch our videos, please. And they will take money to hurt somebody else. One of my board members had a friend who attended an AA meeting. And somebody there just stood right up and said, yeah, I actually cause car accidents for a living. Hello! Well, you know, thank you so much for that admission. Guess who the federal government's probably going to hit up soon. Yeah. I mean, that's not even funny. You know, because I don't want anybody hurt. I don't know. I mean, let's put it this way. It doesn't matter what your skin color is, eyes, hair, religion, sexual preference, size of body, foul mouth, saintly mouth. It doesn't matter. We're all human beings, and we've got to just figure this out, people. People are getting hurt. Not just me, but mostly me. How can I say? I know I'm greatly targeted. Boy, did it ramp up after I opened my mouth. But you know what? Ask some other people that I've had dealings with prior to this, you know, on a smaller scale, but it looks like they might all be connected, which kind of makes sense now. But they're like, yeah, she's not timid. No, I'm not. These idiots, I don't know why they're trying to paint me like that. I mean, if you watch my videos, it doesn't even show me that way. It doesn't make any sense. These people are delusional and sadistic. And yeah, Aaron Spelling, my boss, God rest his soul. Hopefully he knew the Lord. You know, I'm not saying he was perfect. I know, guys. I know. Don't yell at me about that. I know. But he never treated me badly. So, of course, I'm not going to say anything bad unless I do know what he would do to me badly. But he didn't. He didn't treat me badly on any level. And he warned me. He's like, you've got so much talent, you're attractive, you're a kind person, you're fresh meat, basically. And protect yourself. You know, I was just not thinking at this level. But everything he told me makes sense now. Because, you know, he's not going to, like, lay it on the line and be so direct and say, hey, look, this is how they do things. But there was a way he told me that was a bit indirect. And at the time, I was still a kid, you know? Really. And I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But, you know, of all the characters that were around and all the parties. And, you know, I helped organize the ABT thing. And, oh, it was so much fun. And, yeah. It was really a blast. I learned a lot in a short amount of time, and then everything got canceled, and then I had no job. That sucked. But while I was there, I was like, this is amazing. I learned so much, and I got to love on so many people, and I found out who was a rat and who wasn't, and I inadvertently showed my bosses, I worked for 2 people really, and I was thanked. I made a mistake, and it turned out to be the best mistake ever, and it showed somebody's heart. And I was like, well, you know, you're welcome. I can be an okay secretary. I'm very organized, but, you know, it's not my thing. I hate it, actually. Kudos to y'all who love doing it and want to do it. Not my thing. I'm very well organized, though, and I get things done. And I have tenacity, so... But that's what makes me a good producer, a good dancer, a good performer, a good writer, all these things. Let's get back to what I was saying, though. I know what it's like to be enslaved, and it's hideous. And I wish I would have known all of what I know now, just even 10 years ago would have been great. And I knew something was wrong with my surroundings, my life, and the things that were happening to me, because I'm like, wait, this just doesn't seem staged somehow. Not that I was staging anything, but the people around me, it felt like it was forced. It felt like they were purposely setting up situations to always, like, put me in peril's way to see what I would do or say. And then, you know, I kept journals, recordings of things, because I'm an artist. This is what I do. This is what good artists usually do. And because I did all of this very tediously, I now have evidence of a case. Pretty huge flipping case here. Like nothing anybody has ever heard. Oh, sure, you've heard about innocent people being spied on before, and sure, you've heard about, you know, well, being sexually abused and all that, but this is all my story. Not just little fragments of this one person only had this one little thing. All of this happened to me, and I'm just really questioning and wondering the authenticity of all these other people. Did they cherry pick? Some did. Cherry picked from my life and took it and branded it and went their own way with it. And I'm like, that, you can't do that. You did it. You physically did it. You're going to pay a price for it now. And, you know, I hate that my heart has to be like that. You know, stone cold, no mercy. But these people need to be stopped. They need to stop taking from me and putting it on their prop up, their facade, and stop backdating and making a fake history for people and saying, nope, there it is. Oh, she's talking about jellyfish in the wild. Okay, let's take that and put this on. Oh, this is a beautiful girl named Sarah, but that doesn't work for the jellyfish story. So I'm making this up right now. I don't do anything about jellyfish, actually. I helped make a costume for a jellyfish. And funny how it ended up like a thing after I helped make it. I should sue those people. I want to know how that happened. Anyway, and so it gets stuck on Sarah, but she's not Sarah anymore. She's somebody else that was in another article because the news media created a name. How about Francis Footloose? I don't know what the hell, but it's that crazy and cockamamie. And so Frances Footloose is now her name, and she does the jellyfish thing that I was talking about, part of my life. There could have been trauma, there could have been funny stories and whatever. So they take it from my life and they stick it on Sarah, who's no longer Sarah. She's always been this Frances person because they say so. You know how I did the video about doppelganging? Well, that was a roundabout way of me being direct right now. You know, and they take elements of certain things about my personal appearance and then they stamp it onto that person. It could be my hair, it could be my eyes, it could be the way I talk, it could be the way I walk, it could be a little bit of everything. And then all of a sudden somebody says, oh, I thought I saw you in the news and, you know, what you were saying. And I'm like, wait, that wasn't me. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's been very interesting. So just go look at our Facebook pages and stuff like that. You can see me and my people over here bitching everybody out for taking stuff. So it's got to stop, and we need to stop it. And it's just been horrible because it's like I didn't do anything to these people. And yet they just decided to enslave me and to steal my voice. Look, I am not your mermaid, okay? I'm my own mermaid. I've always been my own mermaid. And if I hear one more person say, you know who you look like? Gee, like I haven't heard that before. You know who you sing like and sound like? Yeah, I know. I know. I've been trying to figure out what to do all of this time. And then I got busy with my own life and I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's not what it is. And then you go back to it because it's happening again by the same people over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, No, I am not your property. No, I don't like you. No, I don't want you to be near me. I don't want you doing things to me. If you want to be a friend, this is not how you do it. Holy crap. I never left dead animals for anybody if I'm trying to befriend them, you know, behind their vehicle. What the hell is that shit? It's very insidious. It's just sick. That's not nice. No one's ever done me a favor. I used to, when I'm trying to help my ballet teacher, I moved the bars, I cleaned the floors, I did so much. You show yourself friendly. And then I got the school twisting everything around in my eyes and her eyes, and then it's like all of a sudden we're fighting each other. Manipulative SOBs. That's exactly what they are. Still. We were both treated badly during that whole thing. And we're here trying to say, why does this person not like, why doesn't she like me? What's going on? These people hate each other. No, I didn't hate. I had to do something really special, and I ain't going to give it away online, but I had to do something very, very special for this person to say, I know what people are saying and I don't like it, and it's getting around to me, and I'm sure it got around to you, and I'm done. I don't want it like this. And then other people twisting things around, and they purposely wanted it, and then voila, a film, actually 2 or 3, came out based on that whole thing. And I'm like, oh my God. Right down to nuances such as this, and her, and how she was, and how I am, and character traits, and yeah, names, all of this stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is this? They fired all the good writers and hired yes people, prop up people to just say, okay, something funny is going on. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, and they're pretty sure I know what it is. I figured it out, you know. And I'm like, no, I'm still going to do my red ribbons thing. And I know there's some people that, you know, have been trying to take away everything. All these years, nobody does red ribbons anything. And then we're trademarking it, and we've been using it for over, I don't know how, over 10 years? I don't know. It's been a long time. And then all of a sudden, they're like, nope. Fuck these people. It's a corporation, for lack of a better term, of the they. They've enslaved me. So for all my fellow brothers and sisters of the human race who have been enslaved, doesn't matter what the reason is, it's hideous either way. If it was because you had different skin color, if it was because you had a different religion, yes, look at our history. What do you think happened to the Jews? Okay, I heard somebody said to me, there's nothing lower than a Jew. And I'm like, oh really? Why do you think that? As my blood boils, but okay, let's hear it out. Remember that one?
Yes.
And I'm like, what makes you think that? Why? Aren't we over... Hold on, what happened? There we go. Aren't we over that? I mean, that's so archaic and rude and evil, and it's like, just stop already. We are all the same. We really are. And yet uniquely different. Personalities, preferences, likes, dislikes, temperaments, appearance. But a fish is a fish is a fish. A lion is a lion is a lion, right? And a human being is a human being, and a human being is a human being. It really disgusts me. What makes it even more disgusting is that people are purposely egging it on and making it a business. Yes, there's a lot of money to be had in the business of racism. I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it, okay? Now, that's not to say if you don't like a certain culture's music, that doesn't make you a racist. That's making you not like a certain type of music. Okay. As long as you don't go around hurting that culture or those people, then you're fine. I don't like every culture's music. Not every culture's likes my music that I make or my dances that I do. Okay. I'm pretty sure they don't hate me in the form of racism. No, you know where I'm getting it from? It's the white men. Not all of them, but certain CEOs. Pure hatred that they want to enslave me. Look at what the poor African people had to go through. That was a business. They enslaved them. You know, they put them on ships and, you know, they squished them in. Read your books. It's just so unfathomable that somebody could dehumanize another human being like that. Why? Why do it? It was corporations that did it. It was a corporate thing. Look at who owned the boats. Look at where they shipped these poor human beings off to and why. Do your homework. It is disgusting. Same thing happened to the Jews. They were enslaved. You know, the essential, non-essential worker thing? Watch Schindler's List, people. Just go ahead. It really, really was well done. And it was just ghastly at the same time. I'm glad it was made, though. Even though it was hard to watch. We might watch that tonight. That might be really good, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I need to get in touch with my culture, my roots, my heritage. You know? And, you know, it's just, So when somebody says to me there's nothing lower than a Jew, and then I see people, African Americans, and they're just like, you know, some of them, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to prejudge. I'm a human rainbow. I have so many cultures and races and religions and everything within me, and I'm so proud of it and I love it. That's why I made my dance company the way it is, with a conglomeration, professional artists, amateur artists who are just good on stage and they have presence. It's everything. You know what I'm saying? It is a rainbow too, and it reflects me and the heart of me. And I don't want people enslaved. I want to be free myself. I'm in America. It is my right, but I'm not free. Oh, sure, I can drive wherever I want, within reason to these people, because they follow me. That's not complete freedom if they're following me. And they'll stop me. They get in my way. Oh yes, beloveds. I'm trying to get out of our carport here, and we've got people blocking, and then they take pictures. I'm like, well, why? And then the pose that I did ended up on a billboard, but it wasn't me, it was somebody else who mirrored it. You know, like they used my picture as modeling, but not me modeling for yoga or a dance magazine or a fashion magazine where I'm getting paid and it's my likeness. They basically steal from me, and then they're like, here, look, this is what she did. And then I have a feeling what they're doing is like, this is how she works. She's like doing guerrilla marketing. So she's on the go all the time. She doesn't have a lot of time. This is what she said to do for your product. Is that how people are pitching this? And then all of a sudden I'm pointing like this. Meanwhile, I thought I was fighting for my life, because you don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Two people, men, driving into the carport driveway, blocking me. Of course, I did what I felt was best, pointed out and yelled. I mean, what am I supposed to do in a circumstance like that? I'm not going to let them have their way. I had to wear a disguise. I was wearing a disguise that day too. And I'm like, how did they know it was me? Well, we figured that out because people have these tracking devices. So it's like, I'm not free. Every time I go, come and go. There are people watching. We have people that come out of their unit. And they will open that door and they will walk past and they look in here to see if we're in here, to see if our vehicle's here. You know, some of them are extremely friendly. Some of them, they get some weird thing going on in their heads and it's just like, oh boy. You know, it could be very interesting. Let's just put it that way. And, you know, come on. But Aaron Spelling told me about some of this stuff. What supposedly stars go through. I'm well known in the dance community. I do have some fame. For crying out loud, I was on Lois Greenfield's calendar, the cover. People know me. And I'm not boasting about it, but it's dance. And I don't want to belittle dance because I don't want to hurt my fellow colleagues' feelings, and I don't want to diminish my hard work either. But that's a huge thing. It's kind of equivalent to getting an Academy Award. It's a certain type of award. That's an honor, in other words, and it's a very high honor. And, you know, that's what some people in contemporary modern dance ascribe to or try to attain. And you don't just make it happen. I didn't ask her for that. That was bestowed upon me. That's like, wow. You know, how does that happen? Every dancer dreams of that. At least a lot of people do. Most professional dancers like me, they do. And there you have it. And it happened, and it was an amazing thing. So I do have some notoriety here. You know, every little microcosm or subculture has their pond, their fish pond, right? And you got the bigger fish and you got the smaller fish. I ended up being a bigger fish. So I have notoriety. Now, if you compare the dance community to the film community, it was like, who the hell are these people? You know? But because I worked in the film industry, some of these people do know me. You know, I have Emmy nominations, you know, so I'm not like a nobody, so it's plausible why I would have this happen, but also not because I'm also a regular civilian. I'm kind of like in limbo here. I'm right on the verge of going with international fame and all of that, but I keep getting pushed down, and I was never trying to do that, but I just find myself in extreme situations of my life that keep pushing me there. And at this point, I have to save my life. Yes. Because the more people that know about me and know my story, the better I am, off I am. And not the better that I am. Sorry, I misspoke. I don't want you guys to get a weird idea there. The better off I am. Because it will protect me. Do you understand that? But, like I always say, I am their best kept secret as long as I'm kept a secret. That is why my mom kept hint dropping to me, oh, you should be a secretary. Yeah, I did that, and I pretty much suck. You know, and everybody always wanted me to work for them, and I'm like, you do? The Hollywood remodeling thing that went on in the late 80s, they wanted to pay me like $27 an hour. Back then it was good. Really good money. And to be like level 2 administrative something. And it was interesting. It was, because that was around, I think that was, it was at the Kodak Theater. There was like all of this refurbishment and revitalization project thing going on. And it was very exciting to be part of that. I was a temp secretary. And everybody always wanted to hire me. And I was like, no. It's just not what I want to do. I just want to make enough money to pay my bills and then have enough time to focus on my stuff. So I made a compromise with my mom. This is in my book. And the compromise was I would use it to fall back on because I was good enough. But I would never be great because I hated it. And why do I want to serve somebody else? You know? It's like, it just doesn't turn me on. I had a feeling that my stepfather, when he submitted my screenplay to a production company, a very famous, well-known company, and we didn't hear back from them, and everybody was like, uh-oh. We knew people. He knew people. He worked with a guy who was married to the sister of a big head of programming in this studio. And so I submitted my script, and I was a kid. It was amazing. I mean, I look back at it now and I'm like, oh my God. But I see potential. I just need a couple more years of maturity, which I've long since done. And whammo bammo, you have an amazing screenwriter. And I was dancing and doing all this other stuff too at the same time. But, you know, it's very interesting because I'm a free spirit and I don't like working for somebody else. I want to be my own boss, and I work well doing that. And I've been doing that on and off, but I can only get to a certain point and then I can't sustain it. And I'm like, what? I'm doing everything right and even more than that. Well, now it makes sense. I had people purposely stopping me so they could glean from my stuff. Even my pillow designs, we had to write cease and desist letters for that. All of these things. I started making these pillows because I was a young mom and I was sick and I didn't want my husband to bear the burden. So my mom and I used to have a business way back. I was a kid even. And I said, Mom, do you mind if I resurrect it? And she said, sure. But instead of calling it Shirley and Noelle's, it was just Noelle's Pillows. And Bedroom Boutique, it's changed a little over the years. And so I did some amazing things. And so these people were picking on a sick woman, a young lady, almost a kid. I might have been a little too young to have this child at that age, but I did anyway, because I didn't want to have an abortion. I wanted my child, and I was already married, so we're good. But I wanted to be able to take the financial burden of my husband earning the living all by himself, by doing this. And it was successful. Look at the Better Homes and Gardens magazines and all of these things from back then, and we were all over the place. But then again, I couldn't go any further than they would allow me, and I'm like, why not? I was barely making any money. You know, a few $100s, but it helped. It paid for the food. And I'm like, I'll do whatever it takes. And I was also, when I started feeling better, I did script work, script supervisor stuff. And I was making $300 to $400 a day. This was in Vegas even. So, here I am sewing all these pillows, and to make a profit of $300 to $400, it would take me like 2 weeks versus just one 8 to 10 hour day doing script supervisor work. So I did whatever it took, right? Do you remember me having to do that?
Yeah.
And I bought my husband a keyboard because he wanted a piano so bad, and he makes beautiful music. So I'm like, I'll take care of it, honey. So I did. I made enough money. And what is this person doing? Okay, it's our neighbor. Okay, no, this person's fine. You gotta ask and stop and question and wonder, because sometimes these things are like bad people doing stuff, and it's like, what the hell are you doing here? Just like the video of the guy. Aw, that's his girlfriend, right? She's so sweet.
Oh, the blonde?
Yeah.
She wave at you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're very nice people.
Do they need help? Did we park too far over?
I don't think so. I think they have a little more room than usual.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Look, more room though.
Okay.
Than usual.
So, anyway, I'll have to wave. Hold on a second. So he's unit number 1. I think he's German, right?
Yes.
He said, I want to go back home. I said, I don't blame you. He's a nice guy, though. So all of these things that we had going on. Hi! Yeah, he looks like he likes rock and roll. Or something. Doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he might.
Yeah.
He also looks like he enjoys classic too.
Yeah.
Looks like he enjoys most things.
He's
actually.
very well cultured, I think. We like him. He's cool. I think he's normal. Please God, let him be normal. I just want normal people, no spies, no weird people. Oh my God. So, yeah, so what was I saying? Okay, my mom, where did I leave off? Sorry. I think my stepdad made a deal with the production companies somehow. Let's, I don't know this for a fact, but we're going to find out. And President Trump, please help us find out. We're missing this little bit of information. Not that we need it for a case, but it just gels it together and makes it juicier. You know what I'm saying? So, did it go something like this, where my mom was talking to my stepdad, my Jewish stepdad, right? Saying, well, it's been a while since we heard back. What do you think happened? And my stepdad would probably ask his colleague, and his colleague had a sister. His colleague had a wife and was the sister of this executive at the studio, head of programming. And they said, yeah, it's awfully funny. We haven't heard anything back either. And we got a survey in the mail for a certain marketing company. Do you want to be one of the families and you tell us what you're watching on TV and reading and all this stuff? And who doesn't want to do that, right? Stars in my eyes, young teenager. And my birthday wasn't the next birthday. They do it by birthdays. That's the person who does the survey. And if you're underage, they sign a waiver. And I think that opened the devil's Pandora box, in a sense. And I think that's what this whole thing started and let them in. In other words, the studio said, this girl has talent. Let's listen to them. I want to know everything she does, says, breathes, all of this. And I don't think they realized, because of my grandfather from decades back and the stuff he did, they're different aspect of the same circle, let's put it that way. And what my grandfather did, and oh my God. So anyway, and I'm talking about this openly and freely because I want to. No shame. I didn't do anything wrong. It's the people who did the wrong to me who should feel the shame. I don't wear false guilt and shame. I've learned enough from having, the sexual abuse thing in my life. So, yeah, I don't do codependency either. But I think these people would love it if I did. They really don't know what to do. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I think the conversation, let me finish this. I think the conversation went, so my mom talking to my stepdad, have they heard anything back? They haven't heard anything back. Okay. And then they just had me fill out this survey of all these TV shows and things that we watch. Okay. He signed it, and I'm like, Very interesting. A lot of things that I talked about during that time, and a lot of things that I did and made, and photographs that were developed at the nearby grocery stores, photo lab. And they mostly get sent out, a lot of them, or they did then. And we can look on the back of the pictures and say, oh, this is who printed it. Very interesting. So they were pretty much talent scouts. But they never had any intention to actually lift me up and let me enjoy the fruit of my labor, or fashion me in such a way that they would groom me to be part of the family. Most of it's probably because of my grandfather and his history, because we were already in the circle. And I also think my grandfather had promised us off, in a sense. You have to understand something. The circles in which my grandfather ran, it's very bad. I didn't do any of it. He did. My mother didn't do any of it. He did. Obviously, if he was going to rape my mom every night of her life from the time she was, is it 6, 7, until she got out of the house? Pretty close, she said. And if he was going to do me, and yeah, that's not a good person. So the circles he ran with, if you could just imagine, and he was Italian, so just really imagine, you can probably connect the dots there. You're not stupid, people. And it's bad. It's not bad. But, you know, the sins, the Bible says the sins of the father get passed down to the children, in a sense. And people take that a little too literally. It doesn't mean that if the great-great-grandfather made this pact or sin, it doesn't mean that I or my son is guilty and has to pay penance for it. It's basically talking about if you raise your children within that sin can rub off on them. But it didn't for us, not even close. I wouldn't even know how to do what he did. Let's put it this way. He ran the poker room and the floor at the Golden Nugget downtown in Vegas. You just don't get those jobs. And then he ran the world's, at the time, pretty close to the world's biggest and best poker room in Vegas, or in the world, really. You don't get that job. He was the manager. Actually, I think he was the assistant manager and Eric was the manager. I don't know how that worked, but there's so many stories there, people. And I'm finding this stuff out even after his death and after all these decades of my life living it. And I'm like, holy crap. You know, so we're thinking, is this all connected here? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the whole damn thing is like some weird organized crime ring or something like that. I don't want to know, but unfortunately we're finding out because these assholes just keep doing shit that draws too much attention to them. They're not very smart. That's for damn sure. But they can be very insidious. And I was like, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be anything. Just leave me alone. You know, if they left me alone, we wouldn't be here right now. You know what I'm saying? We, meaning them and us. If they left me alone, whatever happened in the past would have stayed there. I don't want to deal with this shit. It's intense. I am not even slightly exaggerating this, okay? Just look at our videos. I mean, they're doing stuff to us that just goes beyond. So this is what I'm saying. I've been enslaved. And I'm not belittling any black person or anybody or Jews. I mean, this is part of my heritage too. Guys, I got African in me too. I ain't that happy with the way things have been turning out because I'm like, come on now. Stop this thing. You know, it's heartbreaking. I don't want somebody innocent, no matter what their skin color is, to lose their lives because somebody is just being... We don't know what that officer was being, but it obviously doesn't look good. Excuse me. So, hold on. You know, so I'm finding all this stuff out. I'm also Croatian. Woohoo! I didn't know that. This is recent. I found this out last year, that recent. And Greek, I found out that I was last year too. What else was it?
Balkan.
Balkan, which is a whole bunch of little countries up in that area. Very interesting, isn't it? So I'm even more of a rainbow than I thought. So we can add like about 5 or 6 more countries to my list there that I have on our website of all these different things that I am. That's why people have a hard time pegging me. It's like, are you Irish? They just go for the Irish thing because of the hair. I'm like, I keep saying no, but I think I might have some in me somewhere because it's just, I don't know, the Northern Italians had red hair. A lot of the women in my family, the Italian side, a lot of them had the, the rich auburn hair. And that's what I got. It was strawberry, though, when I was born, and it was blonde. It went strawberry, blonde, and then it got a little darker. I gotta show you guys some of my photos. They're so cute. It was like, oh my god. You look like... Yeah, I know. I really know. Okay. So, you know, I'm just wondering, and then my mom probably talking to my stepdad, getting back to the conversation, is this how it went, right? You know, what do we do? What do we tell her? And then maybe they do get a call eventually, and they write a letter, and they get wind of something. You know how people drop hints? They can't come right out and say, look, your daughter is never going to work in the industry, she could only be a secretary. But, you know, dropping a hint of, you know, she's really good at stenography and she types really well, which I'm fast, but that, you know, they drop a hint like that. And my mom said, well, what does she have to do? Because she kind of gets the hint. Her father was a certain way, and she was around a lot of things that were very shady and very, very evil, sinister, and bad, to where your life was on the line. If you stepped out of line, whatever that line is, I don't know. It's not my problem. So, and so she understood the language, the hint dropping thing, and you know, my mom wanted to be an astronaut. She should have and could have been the first female in space. Very easily. She had, I believe, the top scores in, if not the top scores. But, long story. Anyway, you know who was the first woman in space, right? Check out the birth and death dates. And those of you who know me, you know my mom's birth and death date. Very interesting. Very. Okay, so basically, because of what my grandfather did, it basically cursed us all from ever being able to do anything. Because we were too high of a risk. You know? And I'm like, why did all my people die? Why did all my people die? I want to know why all my people died. My people lived to be over 100 years old. They did. I have the records. You know, it's all very interesting. Hypothetically speaking. Oh, this is all hypothetics, right? Just my opinion, right? Beloveds, beautifuls, come on now. Unbelievable crap that we've had to go through. And then I wonder if any of my teachers were tapped on the shoulder in a sense and said, this one you have to, you know, the code for steal from this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How do you think that happens?
I think most of those so-called teachers are vetted in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Uh-huh.
Or more accurately, let's say they have a teacher in every grade. One teacher for one grade. And that's the vetting teacher, or teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of had something like that going on too, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
If you really think about it.
That's right. And they don't pick on every child or every student, just certain ones. And it's just really interesting that I always had a hard time, except with the new teacher. The new teacher on the block loved me, was always lifting me up, always saying, oh my God, you're so talented, because they weren't completely vetted yet. They usually didn't last more than a year or two at that school because they were normal people. Makes you think about the Pink Floyd song, Another Brick in the Wall. Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. A lot of stuff going on. Yeah. So, you know, we're thinking about all of this stuff. I want to know the truth. I want to know what happened. Why? Well, I think I know why. If I'm right, I already told you guys why. This is just what they do. That's their thing. You know? And I'm like, I don't want to be any part of this. And I want to make my own films. I want to dance my own dances, and I don't want anybody else copying and taking my stuff. Now, you know, some of you might say, oh, there's nothing new under the sun. It's like, they're using unwarranted surveillance. This is not even that league. This is way over just in being inspired and stealing a move here and there or something like that. No, these people are taking things that I say even and like raising somebody up. Oh, she's doing dance now? Let's hurry up and cast somebody in the doppelgang thing that I was telling you about. This is what I'm talking about. And let's hurry up and raise them up too. And they need to be, well, maybe she can do a little bit, but me, who's twice the age of some of these people, has to be subservient. I have more skills, more talent, more time of service. Just more. And I'm like, I'm not going to be subservient to somebody who's half my age. Get the hell out of here. I can learn from anybody. I can, you know, put myself under that very well. But biblically speaking, I don't have to. I should be learning from somebody older from me. It doesn't mean I can't learn a new dance move from somebody who's younger, who might be a little more athletic, and then they teach me to be more athletic. Then, okay, cool. I'm not so prideful that, you know. But this is not what I'm talking about. Dance is about respect and hierarchy, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. This is wrong. And that person's not even with any degrees in dance. I was like, wait a second here. So, you know, I'm working in the field that I studied and have credentials for. Performing arts, singing, dancing, all of this stuff. Film, you know. So I try to be respectful, and because I didn't want to make waves, I'm like, okay. But then I'm like, wait, I just said that at home. Why is this person saying this on their interview? Wait a second. We were just here at this restaurant. Why is this being regurgitated in this article? You know, it was that bad. It was getting that bad. And then you go, why? What is the access point? Well, we figured out the access point. That was probably the easiest thing. You just backtrace everything. It's like, this is the end product, and you know you said it and did it first, but where did it come from? Well, you just trace it. That was the easiest thing. Access was easy. The point is it's like, why me? Not in a pathetic pity way. It's just... And they're trying so hard to gaslight and brainwash me all these years thinking that I wasn't talented. I had teachers basically yelling at me when I was a little kid, making me think that I couldn't dance and couldn't sing. And then my mom's like, but you know what? You are good. My grandmother especially, she was the one grooming me. I was like, well, look at my output. Yeah, I know I was good. As a kid, I was good. I just needed somebody to encourage me and then kick the shit out of some people on my behalf and tell them to knock it the flip off. That's what I needed. So I'm doing it on my own behalf now. I am not tolerating this for the rest of my much longer life, because I am going to do more. I am going to do what I wanted to do. I am breaking the bonds of slavery. Okay? I don't like this. This is modern day slavery, guys. Using modern day equipment to spy on me and to listen and to track and to follow and to keep me in a parameter and a perimeter. They would never let me do anything that I really want to do. It was always cut off, curtailed. We did the Red Ribbons one out in Santa Monica. What was that, in 2016, 17? I don't remember. And, you know, it was just like one thing after another. They didn't even advertise it after I paid for it. And they messed everything up. And I'm like, okay, you know what? You're not stupid. You said, send it this way so I can copy and paste. Okay, copy and paste. And they totally butchered it. I'm like, what the hell is this? It just became more and more apparent. And then people were saying that somebody was telling them that our show was sold out. Well, we usually do sell out. I'm not trying to be prideful, but we usually do. whether it's our own company show or our festival where we have a lot of people and a lot of companies, we usually do sell out. Part 3. Why don't you just make this one long video? Isn't that easier?
Yes.
Just do that.
Okay.
You know, so, okay, cool. I'm down for that. But people were saying that somebody lied. And I'm like, well, who? We found out. And then people wanted to get tickets and they couldn't. Like online, they couldn't access the, well, you know who we use. And, you know, figure it out. I'm like, something's going on. And then so you slowly add all of this. We already knew that my stuff was being swiped. We figured out the access finally. We had a probation officer say, oh yeah, phones, electronics, all of this stuff. You're basically, not that I purposely did this, but you kind of like bug yourself. You know, they call them bugging devices. Not little insect bugs, but bugging devices. You're bugging, self-bugging. Not really. They shouldn't be listening. Look up all these articles. Oh yeah, we're sorry that we recorded all your requests. You know, you say, hey, you pick up your phone. Who was the first person on the moon? And then you have a little AI assistant that responds back. Well, there's articles about them apologizing, saying, oh yeah, we're sorry. We were actually listening to you. Oh, we're sorry. We actually recorded those things. We'll take it a step further. With me, these things got sold. And then I'm watching some, because we don't watch a lot of TV, but we had to start doing this, especially lately. There's nothing else to do, people. And then, you know, we had friends, board members saying, hey, is this yours? This sounds familiar. And then we would check it out. And then it's like, oh, crap. And so, you know, after watching so many things, and it's like people were just sending me anything that had any redhead in it. And they're saying, sometimes it was absolutely no correlation, nothing of my character, likeness, words, nothing. But then sometimes, I would say about 25% of the time, about 25% of the time, it was my stuff, or my likeness, or my dance choreography, or, you know, something that I thought was private. And I'm like, wait a second. Don't do that. And people made a lot of money off of this stuff. I always ask permission. Unless, one time I had to read a letter that my ballet teacher sent me because I knew that these evil, ugly people were trying to steal even her letter that she wrote to me. So I'm like, you know what? I can't find her. I can't talk to her. I need to make this public. And I just read it. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I don't claim credit. And, you know, if you're listening, that's why I did it, ultimately. Not to rub anything in, but I was trying to protect your authorship because they had broken into my email account. Yes, beautiful. Yes, beloved. That's what they did. That's what they do. You know, contact tracing. It's bullshit. So they can find out who you were talking to. Now at least I know what the term is. Cool beans for that. So, I'm a little low ballet back here. So at least I know that now. Modeling, all these things. I am not that kind of model. You know, I don't want, if I'm discussing, oh yeah, I had this cold and these were my symptoms. What, did you release that shit on our family somehow? By having a passerby give it to us somehow, and then you want to see how we got rid of it or how long it lasted? Were you testing something until it got to the point where, oh, finally, if they're not getting rid of it, success! Now we can use this as something. I don't know. It'd be kind of sick if that's what the frig happened, though. Very interesting. A lot of very interesting things. So, yeah. I do know what it's like to be enslaved. It is not fun. It is not pretty. And I'm really flippin' pissed off. And I am going to set my own self free. These people need to pay. or their crimes. But look what happened to the Nazis. They went to trial, beloveds. War crimes, crimes of humanity, all these things. We're kind of at war. World War III is a corporate war, and we're in the midst of it, and we've probably been in the midst of it for several years. It's just gotten worse. And we haven't quite gotten into a skirmish, or have we? You know? Instead of on the battlefield, the whole flippin' world is the battlefield. And then we have things like, oh, there's been a shooting. Well, what kind of shooting was it? Is this staged? Is this the arsenal that they use? Publicity stunts? Oh my god, I hope not. Wouldn't that be a horror? Could be, though. Some things I'm like, that don't make any sense. And I'm not the only one that says something like that. You look at the commentators and commenters on any of the messaging boards. Yeah. People really aren't stupid. So you gotta wonder. Yeah. It just hasn't taken place on a formal battlefield. And I think most wars are fought BTS, behind the scenes. And they don't go into physical skirmishes as we think. Oh, but then you see somebody, oh, so-and-so just committed suicide. I'm not buying it anymore. Set up, staged. And if anybody has a little inkling of that in their history or their family's history, they're like, let's dig. Let's do contact tracing. Let's find out Noelle Rose's medical records. What's in there? Where's her weakness? Let's pick this out. Let's create straw man and use this and destroy her testimony. Yeah, pretty much. I'm not the only one they've done it to. Just like I said. In the news. This beloved person has just committed suicide. And if they've ever had a drink or got drunk, they run with it. That's who we're dealing with. And maybe I'm the only brave soul that will open her fucking mouth and say something about these fucking people. That's real bravery, isn't it? I know what these people could do, and they ain't gonna do it. Because I'm actually a lot of these people's alibi right now, so they want my ass alive, but they're trying to torment me. I'm serious, they think the circus torments us, but we just turn the cameras and it's like, watch the show, people. It's hilarious, some of it. The one thing though, if you guys are listening, my enemies, please, if you have any heart at all, look, it doesn't do anything to me. But people are driving backwards, meaning the ass of their vehicles are coming out of this blind alleyway. And what we have here is a sidewalk. So, okay, they're driving with their asses here, and here's a sidewalk. A little girl, a little boy, a mama pushing her baby stroller, an old lady, anybody, a normal, full-grown adult, you're gonna hit them. Because they fly right through here, even if they go slow. You can't see. There is a reason why the law says when you're coming down the alley to come out nose first, so you can see. And then the sidewalk, there's a street right here. I can't tell you how many times that we've seen near misses and almost accidents happen. So I don't know why they think that it doesn't do anything to me. We're just catching it on video and handing it to the police and to President Trump. So I don't know what you're thinking that's going to do. You're going to ruin. You might be thinking that you're trying to ruin my life, but now you're inviting all these other innocent parties, and then I'm going to help them nail your ass. And that's the last thing you want is another court case, right? But we'll do it because we're good people, and we don't want these innocent people who are walking around, and maybe some of them you're hiring. Or these people driving, by. They don't want their cars smashed up. Probably wouldn't cause a death if they're in a car, but somebody walking, a child especially, come on now. Can you guys think? Can you guys at least have a heart and put that forward and not be real fucking assholes? And I mean, that's criminal. I will make sure that you're tried for murder for that. If somebody gets hurt, especially if they get killed, attempted murder, because I'm here, it's on video. We'll nail your asses. I mean, we've got signs. We've got signs here. We got signs here. We are recording. You guys are real idiots that you don't understand this yet. It's like, what, you want your people that you're hiring to do all this stuff to get caught? I guess so. Some of them we don't see ever again. I guess you fire them. Oh, they blew their cover. No, you actually did because you pressured them. Their hearts are valuable. Look, I will hire some of these people. Some of them need to be, shaped up a little bit because they don't look too good. But everybody has value. And you can put these people to work and pay them a fair wage and use and utilize, I don't like to use the word use, utilize their skills properly. If they're bad people, they're bad people. And if they can't be remediated, I'm not into remediation. That's not what I do. There are other people who have ministries of remediation and helping like that. I don't do that. I set their foot, hopefully, going in the right direction, opening that door, softening their hearts, and maybe ministering the gospel of Jesus and saying, hey, look, this is what worked for me. Maybe it's going to work for you. The rest, that's not my territory. I could only go so far. I opened the door. I'm not a gatekeeper to evil either. Don't take it that way. You gotta understand, these people who are doing it are so sadistic and they're very sarcastic. So if I say something like that, they're like, Or if I say, you know what, I'm a little underweight, they're like, well, we can remedy for that for you. Let's put some shit in the sky. Hey, did you gain enough weight off of this? No kidding. I had a cop who probably was working for these people saying, well, how much do you weigh? Well, go to hell. How much do you weigh? I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you asking me, right?
Yeah.
Why are you asking me how much I weigh? Because you want to see if the shit in the sky is actually making me gain weight, you asshole? There's some bad cops. I know, people. I've been at the hands of them. Ridiculous. So, I'm not saying that these people don't have a right to be mad about what's happening. I'm mad with them, but I'm also mad on my behalf too. And it's really funny that this happens at the same time when I'm speaking up. Again, the paralleling is just very uncanny. And I'm coming forward about being enslaved and how I've been treated like a slave. And the slavery does not just belong to the Africans. Too many races and human beings have been enslaved. Women have been enslaved of every walk of culture and race and everything.
Oh, don't forget the Jewish people.
Oh yeah, the Jewish people. Like I was saying, non-essential versus essential worker.
Well, even back during, Egypt.
Yeah, Moses. He has set somebody free for a reason now. Come on. It was because they were enslaved. So, be careful when you start throwing that slavery thing around me, because this is my ancestry here we're talking. I understand. Not that that is more important than yours, or that what my people went through isn't more important than your people. No, it's all bad, it's all wrong, and we can all talk about it and agree and say, hey, this needs to change. But, beloveds, the Jews aren't free yet. I'm telling you, even the Bible warns about this, even from modern day times. Here we are. So, then I'm thinking, is this because of my heritage, nationality, stepdad being Jewish? It's like, what is going on? You gotta question all of it. And we do. And so we did. And, my biological dad, he warned me. He's like, you know what, maybe you should have used your stepdad's last name for the entertainment industry. And I was like, Dad, things have changed greatly. It's not what it used to be. And maybe tragically so. And I'm wondering, were they all knocked off? I really hope it's not that resurgence of, anti-Semitism to the point where, they're like, I would hate to think that. I question everything. This is intellectualizing. This is using critical thinking. This is wondering what the hell is going on, not just in my life, because I'm seeing some funny things here that's going on, not just for me. And I want to know, and I want to stop it. And I will stop it, and I will be a victor. I am always a victor. It might take some time, but I don't accept anything less. I mean, why should I? And then you have all these people who are like, wait a minute, I said that for my ballet teacher. Why is that celebrity saying that in an acceptance speech? That was for my ballet teacher to encourage her. What? Yeah. It pisses me off because that's sacred, you know? Just because I made it public, or there's some things that we put up public and I'm like, no, take it down. Not the right time yet. Or we had it on public and then we put it on unlisted and then we moved it on private, you know, all different settings and changes. And then YouTube, you know what they do, they act like you just uploaded it when you change it back to public, when you actually uploaded it like 10 years ago. So we video record everything before we do that now to prove that, you know, the publication date. Unbelievable. So YouTube, Google, whoever the fuck you are, you need to change that. Okay? You need to put like originally published on, republished on, and those correct dates. You have to have a log, because if you get sued, you want to make sure that if you're innocent that you can prove yourselves right. So don't give me this shit you know damn fucking well. Why don't you get started and get your little logs out, honey? That's all I can tell you. President Trump, do this. Yeah, drain the swamp. He wasn't kidding. And I'm going to say it again. I really think the reason they went at him because they believed him when he said, I'm going to drain the swamp. And everybody's like, uh-oh. And then all of a sudden, all the puppets come out of the closet and then they just throw hate darts at this man. He's done a lot. I'm not saying he's a perfect person. I'm not a perfect person either. But like Jesus says, he who is without sin casts the first stone. I'm not going to be throwing the stones. I know my shit stinks, okay? And some other people's more than others. But I mean, right? What the hell? Be thou my vision, the Lord of my heart. I love that. So, yeah. So maybe one day I will stop swearing like a sailor. I don't know if God wants me to. I mean, the Bible says, let no filth exit your mouth. You don't want to defile yourself or break down your testimony. But what's the most interesting thing? Riddle me this and remedy this for me. People appreciate me being raw, real, and uncensored and swearing. Even the Christians do. And I'm like, I've heard these people swear worse than I do. And not only do they swear, I won't judge them for that, but they will backstab their brothers and sisters. They will tell so many lies. They will peddle things improperly. You know, God says don't shift the balances of the weights, you know. Let what you're presenting in your product be a fair measure and weight. And they don't.
Well, what's actually considered filth by God, though?
Yeah, see, that, good point. I don't know, I'm saying the F-bomb all the time. I've said GD to, you know, God.
Yeah, but what's the context of you using it? Are you directing that at God, or are you just saying that to somebody? Because if you're saying it to somebody, you're not cursing at God.
I've cursed at God, though.
Yes.
I mean, look at our situation. You've heard me.
Yeah, well, that's different, but...
And then God's like, no, he's not like that.
No. Though there is a scripture in the Bible that gives exception to certain women in certain situations.
I'm in a very precarious situation. I mean, you've seen everything that's happened. You've witnessed it with me.
Yeah.
He was the one who actually said, Mom, I think this is what's happening. He was the one who really made my eyes perk open. I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Maybe I didn't want to believe it. I didn't give you a hard time, though, did I?
No, not at all.
It's just, this is very intense, to say the least. And I didn't sign up for this. So when I say Dance Warrior, I have more than earned my badges, my stripes, whatever. And looks like I'm going to have to do it again. This is going to be the last battle, though. The Lord has promised me that I'm going to win and finally set things straight. And like I said in another video, I don't know if it's up or not, but I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing it for my son, who has more years, hopefully, to live than I do. It should work that way, where your children live longer, and then his children. And I want them to have the most excellent lives, and I don't want them to ever worry about money, and I want them not to be greedy, to help people, but to also protect their hearts and their money, be good stewards, not put up with, kiss asses or people trying to snake in and marry into the family so they think they're going to get all the money in the inheritance. I told you about that, right? They marry in and they give it back to the head of the octopus. And the head of the octopus pays off their person who is a survivor, and they get taken care of for the rest of their lives. And sometimes they pull them out of their back pocket if they need them to do an interview or something. If it's a celebrity, that happens a lot. And hopefully I can help unenslave some of the people too who are concubines for these people. I didn't want to do it. They take you through stages, and they were doing it to me, and it comes across, it can be so subtle, people, where they don't just say, hey, we're going to groom you, and then you're going to do this, and you're going to do that, and then it doesn't work that way. It's very, very subtle, to where you have a director saying, I think you would look really beautiful as blonde. I see this character this way, and I think you could rock it. And wow, there's a compliment, nothing insidious, no threat to your humanly body or anything like that. You see how insidious it can be?
Yep.
And then, they were trying to do it to me. No, I'm not dyeing my hair. I enhance my hair. Because I like it real, I'm already a redhead. And, as I get older, yeah, I have premature gray in some places. It's blonde here too. It's really pretty. I don't particularly like wearing it that way. People like it, but I'm like, okay. It's so beautiful and different. I like this. Okay. Yeah, I have blonde streaks here. Look at my baby pictures or kid pictures. You'll see that. But they do it very slinky and sly, like a fox, and before you know it, you're screwing somebody and you're married. I didn't do that, but I've been petitioned. Let's put it that way. He's witnessed some of it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh well. I'm a Christian. I'm married, even if my marriage isn't perfect and great all the time. I'm not gonna betray my husband, even if he can be a snake sometimes. I still answer to God before I answer to my husband, and God's gonna see this. It's like, I can't do that. Are you crazy? The answer is yes, they are. But I'm not. It's like, thanks, but no. I'll just get that agent on my own, and then I get some really weird people. Oh, you know that story, right? Here, just sign it like this, and we'll take care of it. Anyway, I didn't want to go through that process. And then they're like, okay, you have to gain weight. Look at all of the actresses and stuff. It's a formula. And then once they got to give up their hair somehow. Either cut or shaved or something like that. And then you got to go blonde. Oh, you'll get more roles if you're a blonde. And I'm thinking, but the roles that they play are not blondes. Oh, I get it. You just want them blonde when they're not acting and working. Okay, right. Because you think that blondes are like the epitome of perfection. And That's what goes on, people. I mean, I have been behind the scenes. I know who I worked for, many people, and yet I didn't want to do that. They kept trying to vet me. They're still trying to vet me. And I'm like, that's not what I mean by becoming my best friend now. I mean, you need to help me. That doesn't mean I want to play your game. I want you to let me do my thing my way. Who is this person? Is this Carlos? Who is this person?
Don't know. Let me look. I don't know. That doesn't look like his car.
Doors locked?
Yeah.
Last time we went through this, some woman just hopped into our car. Like, what the fuck are you doing in our car?
Yeah, not sure who that person is. That might be the guy from number 8.
Oh.
I can't tell though.
Okay, don't watch them kissing. Are they kissing?
Excuse me. Something like that.
I don't know. Anyway, so why would they put on a show in front of us like that? That's just weird.
Yes, it is.
Whatever. So, yeah, I just didn't want to do it. Some people would say, are you crazy? You had an opportunity to... But that's how they hook you. That's how they start manipulating you. And then before you know it, you're not just cutting off your hair and you don't want to. You're letting them tell you, oh, you're going to get an Academy Award for this. And sometimes that doesn't happen. And then you did it for nothing and you look stupid. And then you're at home crying. You're like, why did I cut off my hair? You know. Hopefully all the stories that were cancer stories were not publicity stunts. Because I've had cancer. I've lost people to cancer. It's no joke. It's kind of a mockery if that, God forbid, that's what happened. You know, that's how they vet you. They want you to pay a price in a sense. You know, you sell your soul to the devil, as corny as it sounds. That's how it goes. And, you know, yeah, you start by wearing red pump shoes, and then you have to wear a real slinky bikini, a real sexy thing. So see, the thing is, though, I've done all these things just on my own, basically. So it was like, right? So it's like, there was really nothing that they could vet me with, really, left. Not that I did weird stuff or anything like that, but... And then the higher up you go, I don't know what's up there and I don't want to know. But you're very controlled. And that is exactly what's happening here. You know, the whole thing, the old adage and the myth of, oh yeah, you have all these fans. But they pick, the producers, these people, they pick up the marketing agents, publicity agents, they pick up a phone. They ask usually a casting agency or a director, can you send me so many people? They need fans because one of their stars are going to make an appearance. Of course they'll publicize it, but you know, they need to make sure somebody shows up, and you can never tell at these events. So they have to make sure that there are people there to greet the star and to go gaga over them. Watch some of the I Love Lucy episodes. This is an old trick, okay? And when they went to Hollywood, remember how Ethel, Fred, and Lucy were pretending to be Ricky's fans? Okay, there's a lot of head drops and behind-the-scene revelations and that. A lot in the old TV shows. And TV was still very new then. That's what they do. I've had to do it, okay? I'm sorry, but I've had to do it myself upon occasion because I was working for people. I didn't do it for Aaron Spelling. No, I won't tell you who I did. So I know. But I knew anyway before I did that. That's like no duh. You want to have a good event, so you bolster it like that. Look, certain people like David Bowie, right? I saw his last big concert. He doesn't go filling massive stadiums around the world, just doing a little coffee shop and he can barely sell the tickets. Come on. They were transitioning him, in a sense. And that's what they do. And then it's like, okay, now how can we still make money off of you? You are their product, no kidding. And because it's your body and it's your emotions and your flesh, you can't really detach. You are bound. You know, it's not like you write a script and that's it. You just throw it away. I don't care what you do with it, whatever. I don't care. I care. I don't do that. But, you know, at least you can a little bit detach from it. But when you're the celebrity, you're the actor, you're the personality, you're the product. And boy howdy, and they own your ass. I'm not kidding. And here I am, and in my situation, and these people just think that they own my ass. That's why I think that. My grandfather, because of his circles that he ran in, and because of my stepdad as well, when I sent out the script when I was a kid, I was like 15, I think, around that age. So, you know, getting back to that conversation, the enslaving conversation. No, you don't have to worry about it. Just let her live her life. We'll take care of everything. And but she could never work in the industry as a talent. And because of my last name, I changed it, and it was changed because that's what happens when you either get adopted or you marry and all this stuff that happens. You know, I think I was able to get further and sneak in and, you know, do a little more, and then they would find out. Because you change. I changed from the time I was 15 to when I started doing stuff and then dancing, but they found out. They have been listening to me, but we've been able to lose them too a few times. It's got to be the marriage and all these different things. My name's changed, last name's changed a lot, and it probably helped save me. But I say all these things with a great deal of evidence and experience, and also a great deal of questions left. So not a lot, but some of the things I'm saying is this: let's look at the hypothetical, let's look at the thesis statement, and let's try to figure this out. So I'm just trying to be as honest as possible. But A, I don't want this to happen to you. B, I want you to know, what I can prove as well. Because, you know, people dehumanize celebrities. People have dehumanized me. People have dehumanized their neighbors. People have dehumanized so many people for so many reasons. So I'm trying to add that element of humanity to the situation, particularly mine, because this is what I know. And being the dance warrior, I am battling. It's not just for me. If this could happen to me, people, this could happen to anybody. And if you have a child, I want you to know that you need to really protect them. And if they're genius, like creative or something, especially protect them. You might be one of the lucky ones, because they do have to have the good example. You understand how narcissists roll, right? You have to have the good example that is flawless, meaning that that person is treated the way all the others should be, just so they can have a go-to witness saying, oh no, they never did anything wrong to me. You know, it has to be set up that way. You know, I wouldn't call these people smart. They're conniving and cunning, which is a different kind of intelligence in a sense, but it's very manipulative and it can be masterful. But I'm concerned, and I just don't want to. I just don't want to live like this anymore. I want to be the beautiful person who God made me to be. I don't want my heart getting bitter because of all this horrible stuff that I'm having to live through. I want our son to have a beautiful life, and I don't want to have to worry about, oh, if I get on this plane, they're going to see who's on this plane. Oh, she's on the plane. Let's get rid of the plane. Oh, she died in a plane wreck, or another car wreck, or oh, she's having a hard time. Let's say it was suicide. I mean, right?
That's pretty much how they do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she goes in the hospital for a broken pinky. Let's make sure that she ends up in a coma somehow. Hey, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think so, because somebody needs to answer a lot of questions why a lot of my people died and how they died. Some things just don't add up. So, anyway, be enlightened. I don't know. I want to get back to what I did best, and I will make it happen. and I want good people around me, and every time I put good people around me, or so I think, these people taint them. Contact tracing, yay! Be careful what you invite into your life. Be careful what you embrace as so-called fact and truth. Make sure. Ask questions, find the truth, do your own research. Like, we're actually having a little bit of fun researching this stuff ourselves, and we're finding out, oh crap, really, it's like, bling, eye-opening. Okay, that's pretty much it. A lot. So, Enslaved. Call this long video Enslaved.
Okay.
So, beloved, beautiful, yeah, I actually know that you believed me with everything, and you're probably getting a couple like these light bulb moments and dawnings too. Maybe you're looking into your life saying, oh my god, I think it happened to me too. Me too, me too, me too. And yeah, could be. We're thinking about it. We've got that in the mix being looked into as well on your behalf. Sorry, but it has to. And because, look, if this was done to you, what kind of life did they shape for you? And you wanted something else? It needs to be considered. And yeah, I don't think you were meant for mediocrity. I know damn well I'm not. I haven't had a mediocre life, but I've had to fight for it too at the same time, because these people are like, The last thing they want, remember this, people, is a lawsuit. We're ready to go. I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to live free. I'm an American citizen, and I deserve ultimate, complete freedom. That means being able to have my career look and be shaped the way I want it to be. Not the way some fat-ass white CEO somewhere who makes $10, $12 million a year. Billion, however, I know how much it is with each one. We've been keeping track. And come on, small business administration people, and what's his name? Mnuchin? Were you guys gatekeepers? Seriously. Hey, all you big businesses, let's squeeze you in here. President Trump was not intending for that. I can pretty much guarantee you. And we kind of figured out where the money went and who got the money and how much money. We're not stupid, and this has to be public information. It has to be. So you guys might want to just saddle up that bullshit that you're putting out there saying, oh, well, no, it has to be private for this and that. Some things are, but the money, where it went, no, you actually have to make that public, and we're fighting you. You want to keep your jobs? Do them. Trump didn't hire you all to do the wrong things. He hired you to do the right thing, and he hired you to do your job, so stop being flippin' lazy and do it. Are you Republicans? Well, I'm not a Republican. I'm a human being, and I stand for whoever is telling the truth. Come on now. Tell the truth and do the right thing. Otherwise, we're going to dump you into some investigation too, and we're going to come at you with the law too, because we didn't get PPP. We should have. Y'all have a lot of explaining to do. Yeah, we didn't want that much either. We were just like, can we please just have $10,000 so we could do our festival? That doesn't really even benefit us alone. It benefits everybody who would have been part of the festival. That's a community effort, you assholes. That's okay. It's documented, and we're going public with it. Well, we already have. And now this. So, yeah. Republican or not, if you are not doing the right thing, you're getting called out. So do the right thing, and then you don't have to have an investigation. You don't have to lose your job. Although, you know, if you did it once, what, you'll do it again, won't you? It's just very suspicious. Did we send him a dissertation, Minuchin?
I don't believe we did. I believe that us contacting him we thought was a conflict of interest because he used to work for Boeing, so we never contacted him.
Oh, that's right. That was a conflict of interest for a reason. Boeing. Look it up. Look who's on the board, right? And look who some of their former people whose boards they went to.
And look at Apple's board.
Very interesting stuff. Let's just put it that way. Nice, nice, nice. Isn't that how it works, right? A little backstroking. I don't mind people helping out their friends, but this is a disgrace. Yeah. Y'all need to be held accountable. Seriously. So I'm nonpartisan. He's independent, so talk to the hand. We support who we think is the good person telling the truth, or at least more of the truth. We'll settle for that. We probably shouldn't, but yeah. Okay. We're gone. Wait. Beautifuls and beloveds, let this be an encouragement to you. If I can take this much crap in my life and still have the fruits of not only my labor, but fruit of the Spirit, and stand this ground, and you guys really seem to enjoy the fact that I'm human and I don't put myself up here on a shelf trying to be a pompous princess Christian or something like that. So I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate that you appreciate me being real. I'm here for you guys to do that, to be real. Raw, real, uncensored. And isn't it an irony that everybody's wearing masks right now? I got a lot to say about that too. Okay, take care. Please be safe, be smart.